ActionSA has hit the ground running ahead of the 2024 national elections. The party has moved outside of its Gauteng comfort zone and is making inroads in Limpopo. ActionSA says it has launched more than 5 branches in Limpopo since the start of the year. For more on this and other issues affecting the country, I'm joined by the party leader, Herman Mashaba, in studio. Mr. Mashaba, very good afternoon. Thanks so much for speaking to us. Now, let's get reaction from you on former President Jacob Zuma's decision to challenge the state capture report.
Well, really very unfortunate, and I think it was really expected. I'm sure South Africans are aware that President Jacob Zuma has tried over the last 20 years to do everything in his power to go to court. I mean, remember even when he was elected as the president of the ANC, he always said he wanted to see his day in court. 20 years later, he's playing every trick in the book to avoid going to court. I think it was really expected. And what I find even more interesting is the fact that he called this press conference. It was actually confirmed to the media that he was going to be there until when the actual media starts. Jimmy actually did indicate few minutes before that former President Jacob Zuma is going to be there. But as the conference starts, he was nowhere to be found.
Was this a strategy to gather the media, do you think?
Well, I think it's all the games that they've really played all along to really buy time, not for him to see his day in court. But his day in court will come. Unfortunately, I don't really believe it will come for as long as we've got ANC in power. That is why ActionSA 2024 project is so critical, so crucial to ensure that we can democratically remove ANC from power in 2024 so that we can have a tribunal, official tribunal, that can really deal with this on the report the findings.
Okay, well, let's get to the matter at hand, and that's obviously ActionSA and the progress the growth that you're enjoying in Limpopo. Talk to us about that and why Limpopo is so strategic for you.
Well, I think Limpopo actually pushed us to go into Limpopo ahead of other provinces. As you are aware, we had 4 provinces where we did not really have the provincial leadership. But if you look at Limpopo, since the beginning of this year, I mean, these guys really were shocking us, launching 5 branches literally every weekend without getting any support from us as national office. And
why do you think there's such an appetite for ActionSA in particular in Limpopo? And is it the same in other provinces?
Yeah, honestly, it's not really anything unique to Limpopo. It is people are hurtful throughout the country, in Northern Cape. I mean, if I can show you the request from Northern Cape, from the Free State, everywhere, South Africans are hurtful, and they demonstrated this with our electoral performances. Remember, we only contested 6 municipalities last year and became the 6th biggest political party, with the IEC making us contest as a logo. I challenge anyone. Look at analysts and the so-called professors, what they thought of ActionSA last year this time. They thought we're a Mickey Mouse organization. We are the biggest joke that ever emerged since 1994 as a political party. But then look at, we surprised the South Africans. We had over what, 550,000 votes, with 60,000 lost because of contesting as a logo, with the IEC refusing to put our name on. So right now the decision is that we are going to contest all 9 provinces. And what is happening in Limpopo, honestly, it's something that's happening all over the country. Just over a month ago, we had a very successful launch in the Eastern Cape with Athol Trollip. On the 6th of July, in 2 weeks' time, just under 2 weeks' time, we are contesting our first by-election in Nelson Mandela Bay in KwaNobuhle, Ward 43. So I think the interest for ActionSA, it's really overwhelming. But I think you can understand South Africans cannot really live in this environment where you have, 46% unemployment. We are a murder capital of the world, with the rape capital of the world. We've got lots of issues. So South Africans have had enough of the ANC, and they're really looking for change. And it looks like we've really positioned ourselves to really be that alternative.
Now, you talked about Athol Trollip, other people like Bongani Baloyi, former opposition politicians that have joined ActionSA. Now, what is it that you've done to attract the opposition? I mean, these aren't just Mickey Mouse politicians. You know, it's not ordinary citizens that are looking to join ActionSA. These are individuals that were part of strategic positions within the opposition political movement.
I think, just to give you an example, as you're aware, on Monday we announced Mr. Sello Lidikha to be the provincial chairperson of Limpopo, someone really quite seen in the ANC. It's written books about the ANC corruption. He is our provincial chairperson. We've got Bongani Baloyi as Gauteng provincial chairperson. I'm excited about this because I'm really looking at this ANC conference and I'm looking at the two candidates of the ANC. Anyone who's going to win has got to really contest and compete with Bongani Baloyi as Gauteng premier. So for us as ActionSA, honestly and truly, with humility, we believe Gauteng is already in the back. I think Baloyi has proven beyond any reasonable doubt to really be one of the excellent public servants. Look at, let's take Northwest.
But he's ANC, as are many of these opposition at the core. And I suppose it begs the question, can you teach an old dog new tricks? I mean, they've been in those movements for so long. How do you, from 1 minute, believe in something and all of a sudden let it go? And here's ActionSA.
Yeah, well, look, I think we have to really embrace a democratic dispensation. Living in a democracy is not easy, but life is not easy by its nature. I would rather live in a democratic environment than live in a one-party state or military state. Once you're in a democratic space, unfortunately, you're going to have the fight for the ideas and the positions and so forth. And some of these guys that we attract, some of them are without any doubt, they are going to let us down. I mean, that is given. We have some of them intentionally coming to join us because they are planted into our organization. Some of them, they will unintentionally bring their own habits, as you've indicated. I think what we as ActionSA, we made sure that our constitution allows us, as a matter of agency, as soon as any issue like this emerges, we must make sure that we get rid of this person. So we made our constitution, being the latest political party with coming from different political parties. We looked at all the constitutions of all the other parties and look at their disciplinary processes and getting rid of people who are in our party for wrong reasons. So I think our constitution makes it really quite flexible for us to really deal with people with wrong intentions in our organization.
Now, you've talked about Sello Lidikha, who's been elected Limpopo chairperson. Why did you not promote internally? Surely for a party such as yours, it would make sense to bring somebody who's already within the party as opposed to an outsider.
It doesn't make sense in practical terms. Yes, sometimes I think whether it's in business or in politics, and as you're aware, I've been in business for almost 40 years, and I look at political side as well in terms of the promotion. I think most of the time it's better to really get someone with experience that you don't have to teach, but especially when you're in a new organization like us that is growing. Yes, we are busy right now really training our new group of guys to take over the party going forward. But at the moment, while we're building structures, I don't have the time and the capacity to be really training, rather really get someone with the necessary experience, like Mr. Lidikha. I mean, a really very seasoned politician. He's been on the ground for 28 years, so he knows the game quite well. So actually, for someone like me, new in politics, I can learn from him. Someone like Athol Trollip, I mean, for me, acquiring the services, acquisition of Athol Trollip, John Moody, I mean, these guys are brilliant. I learn so much from them because I'm new in politics. Now, can you imagine if I've got to surround myself with people like myself who don't know much about politics? So I think it's and the same principle, I used it in business, where I'll have people, all of a sudden you're looking for a sales director. I look at all my sales guys, you know what? Let me rather get someone from outside that can obviously assist me in ensuring that they can take that responsibility.
Mr. Herman Mashaba, ActionSA leader, thank you so much for your time and appreciate you coming on to Newsfeed, the PM edition.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate the opportunity.